Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Today is Thursday, and we are talking health. We are recording our podcast live. If this is the first time that you are joining us, um, I launched a podcast a little while ago. Wa alaikum salam, Majesty Management 21, and Productive Mumuf 3. Wow, Instagram names, huh? So I launched a podcast, and as you know, on Thursdays, you actually are my initial community here on Instagram and Facebook. So I actually record my podcast live, and then my team works their magic in the background and get rid of all of the fluff. And if you would like to listen or re listen to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform, please go do that. And of course, it is called the Fit Muslima Podcast. And you can find it on all of the platforms that you love to listen to podcasts. I do have several episodes. If you have not listened to episodes 1, 2, and 3 in the intro of the podcast, then you want to go listen to those because those are exclusively on the podcast platform. And I did not go live with those. I got to give you a reason to go listen to the podcast. But if you're interested in understanding why I do what I do, what's my background, what gave me the passion about health and fitness, that is what podcast 1, 2, and 3 is about. So you want to listen to that on your favorite podcast platforms. So today, let me pull up my podcast notes. Of course, all of this rambling will be um what do you call it, edited out for the actual podcast. So as we get started, just for your listening pleasure, this is podcast number 7. um and we're going to get ready to get started. So let's record a podcast. All right, ready? I'm ready. You ready? Okay, we're gonna do it. You're listening to the Fit Muslima podcast, where we discuss the interconnection between food, faith, and fitness. I'm your host, Mubaraka Ibrahim. This podcast, my social media presence, and my weekly newsletter all focus on the philosophy that physical, mental, and spiritual well being is intertwined. The weakness of one weakens them all, and the strengthening of one strengthens them all. Welcome to episode 7 of the Fit Muslima podcast. Today, we are going to go back to basics because oftentimes in our quest for health, we are looking for the dramatic change. I completely changed my life, my diet, my habits, and this is the transformation. Of course, we are in a social media age, an internet age, and so we are looking for the huge overnight transformations, or we want the polar opposite, the quick fix, the things that's going to be the magic pill that's going to work overnight, and poof, everything that I've been trying to do for the last 5 years of my life has been solved in 5 minutes. Unfortunately, health doesn't quite work that way. And in my experience with many people, oftentimes we skip over what is the very basic things that we need to do in order to improve our health. And sometimes that can be the simplest. So today, I'd like to take us back to basics and really talk about something that we skip often, and that is hydration. Yes, plain old drinking water. And I know you might want to go ahead and scroll or skip forward, but bear with me, because I really believe that once you understand all of the things that hydration and drinking water in particular can do for your health, then you will be much more conscious of it as you go along your health and wellness journey. So, I am going to sort of give you a couple of spoiler alerts. Number one, I am not going to get into the weeds of electrolytes and magnesium and sodium, and we're going to save that for another podcast. Again, Very, very basics. I want people to really start with understanding the very basics of health, right? It doesn't have to be dramatic for you to start your journey, for you to restart your journey, for you to kickstart your journey, wherever you are, for you to continue your journey. You don't have to start all the way over. We just need to start incorporating some very simple habits. And that's where I want to start you at. So let's talk about simply water, drinking water. How much, when, how often, what does it do for us? Because it's something that a lot of us skip over, right? Every day, especially for Muslims in particular, coming off of Ramadan, where we are not allowed to drink water all day, many of us are reestablishing the habit of drinking water, even if we was drinking water before Ramadan, right? So we are reestablishing this habit. Drinking water is probably the simplest yet most effective thing that you can do that is going to impact your health, that's going to impact your energy, that's going to impact your metabolism, that is going to impact your brain. Yes, simply drinking water and staying hydrated can change all of these and noticeable changes. So, we're just going to go over a few so that you can understand why staying hydrated is really, really important. So, first and foremost, staying hydrated actually can improve your brain performance and memory. Absolutely. One of the things that research has shown about hydration is being as much as 2% dehydrated, right? And that's literally when we are dehydrated. You think about when I say dehydration, I'm talking about the whole spectrum, right? I'm not talking about sort of like the full dehydration where you need an IV infusion, right? Or you need to supplement with electrolytes. So that is sort of on the other end of the spectrum. You begin to show signs of dehydration. Your body gives you an indication simply by feeling thirsty. Once you feel thirsty, that is an indication of your body that you need hydration, and hydration in the form of water. And we are talking about plain water. So I want to sort of define what we're talking about when I'm talking about plain water and I'm talking about hydration in this particular episode, right? I am not talking about water based drinks. So, welcome to my world, and I am going to define in my world what I mean when I say water. Water is any water based drink that does not add calories or chemicals, right? So, think about that. Any water based drink that does not add calories or chemicals. So, if you are drinking soda, calories and chemicals. If you are drinking club soda or sparkling water, no calories, no chemicals, just carbonation. So that would be included. If you said, well, I put water inside of my smoothie when I drink a smoothie, or I add it to my protein shake, you're adding calories or chemicals. I drink water and I sprinkle a little crystal light in it. No calories, no chemicals. So I want us to really define what we mean when we talk about water. I'm not talking about the amount of water that you want to calculate that comes in when you're eating fruits or vegetables. Like literally everything has water, even meat has water in it. So we are not talking about that. We are talking about the water that you drink, right? This plain water that you drink that does not add calories or chemical. This is what we are referring to when we talk about hydration in this particular episode. So we can get into the weeds of electrolytes and types of water on another episode, but today I want to keep it really, really basic. All right. So one of the main reasons why you want to drink water is because your body is about 50% water. As children, our bodies are about 75% water, but as we get older, our body is literally 50% water. If you did not have water in your body, you would not be alive. We know water is absolutely essential to human life. Hydration is essential to human life. When we drink water, one of the things that happens is all of our cells are hydrated, which means it is absorbed into the cells. That is going to make your brain function with much more efficiency. That is going to keep your blood thin enough that it is able to do one of its main jobs, which is to be a highway for the nutrients to get throughout your body. So think of your blood as the superhighway, right? But this superhighway is more like a river, right? So when you're drinking water, when your body is hydrated, that river is flowing and the boats, right? Let's consider the nutrients that we bring in when we eat food. Our boats, they're able to flow with ease to each part of the body, our organs, everything that we need. When we are dehydrated, right, the river begins to dry up. It begins to thicken as it dries up more, and your nutrients aren't able to efficiently travel throughout your body. So that's one reason why drinking water is really important. If you are chronically dehydrated, even if you are taking your vitamins, eating your vegetables, it is just going to be that much harder for your body to actually use the nutrients that it is absorbing. Another reason why water is really important is it's going to give you energy, right? And it gives you energy for an unexpected reason. You probably didn't think of it in this way. Again, related to our blood, right? When you are hydrated, your blood flows much easier and it's easier for your heart to pump. If you are dehydrated, your blood thickens and your heart has to work harder in order to pump the blood. If your heart is working harder, you are expending more energy just to pump blood, right? That is going to suck the energy out of you. So that's number one. The second reason why it increases your energy when you're hydrated and decreases your energy when you are dehydrated is because your hydration also hydrates your muscles. And when your muscles are dehydrated, again, it makes it harder for them to move. And so you are expending more energy doing the exact same thing, right? So if you can think of sort of the the cells around and the cells, the blood, the water around your muscles, when you're dehydrated, instead of it being very fluid and being very um and allowing your muscles to so our muscles, if you're listening to a podcast, I'm interlacing my fingers. The the muscle fibers, they slide in between one another, sort of like that, right? And as our muscle fibers slide, we need that to be lubricated, right? In order for us to walk, for you to work out, for you to go around your everyday functions. Your muscles are always moving, they're always sliding in and out. You need that lubrication. If you are dehydrated, your muscles are still going to slide. Obviously, you can still walk and jump and do all the other stuff if you're dehydrated, but it is going to be much more effort for that sliding to take place. And more effort means that you are going to have to expend more energy doing the exact same thing. So, this is the way that hydration works in terms of our energy. It allows us to work and our muscles to move and our heart to beat and our body to function more efficiently because it has lubrication. When there is no lubrication or lubrication is decreased, then you have to expend more energy doing the same thing and you are going to feel more tired. So that is another reason why drinking water is really important. So if you are finished with your workout, or even it's a super hot day and you're doing a lot of sweating, summertime is coming and you're wondering like, why am I so tired? Well, one of the reasons could be you need more hydration. So think about that before you think about, let me take a nap, or let me grab a cup of coffee. Right? Before you supplement with other things, first start off with, let me try to drink water to make sure that it's not just being dehydrated. Now, what everybody loves to talk about is, of course, water and weight loss, right? And so that is what we're going to talk about next, and how it directly affects weight loss. If you are just joining me, then you are listening to the Fit Muslima podcast. And I'd like to take a brief moment to remind you that this podcast is sponsored by Better Health, committed to offering research-based food and supplement products to help you improve your health and wellness. You can shop Get Better Health. That's get, BETTA, health.com, and use the code podcast to get 10% off your purchase. Let's talk about water and weight loss and how that works. So this is going to take a little bit of sort of myth busting and then hopefully truth insertion as we talk about water and weight loss. So a lot of people think of water and weight loss as, if I'm drinking water, then it's going to fill up my tummy and I'm not going to want to eat as much. That may or may not work. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's not true, but I'm just going to say it's not the main reason why drinking more water can help you lose weight. Drinking water literally boosts your metabolism. If you want to increase your metabolism, all you have to do is drink water. Like, it's literally that simple. This is why I say, like, this is one of the most effective yet simplest things that we can do that many people skip over. So in a 2014 study, they looked at the expenditure, the metabolic expenditure. It was a small study. They've done others to replicate this as well, of 12 people who drank cold and room temperature water. And they found that it increased their metabolism. They burned between 2 to 3% more calories than usual for 90 minutes. Now, in another study, they found that this effect actually increased the metabolic rate within 10 minutes of drinking the water. That's quite significant, that you can increase your metabolic rate by up to 3% within 10 minutes of drinking water, and the effect gradually reaches up to 3% within 30 minutes. So it starts 10 minutes after you drink the water, within 30 minutes, and it can last for up to 90 minutes. How much water did they look at in the study? 16.9 ounces. That is 500 milligrams. That is 2 cups, a little bit over 2 cups of water. So if you right now drunk 2 cups of water for the next 90 minutes, you will have an increased metabolic rate. That is very important reason to drink water. Now, I want to hold you for a second, and I just want you to stay with me, because I don't want you to go drink a gallon of water. I want you to note, and we're going to talk about in a little while, how much water should you be drinking, and how much water should you be drinking for your body size at a time, and what are appropriate amounts. So I need you to stay with me. So one of the other ways in which water is going to help you to lose weight is it all connects back to what we talked about previously, right? When you drink more water, you're going to have more energy. Your muscles are going to function with much more efficiency. You're going to have energy to actually do what? To actually work out, right? So super, super important. It is one leads to another, leads to other. It's all correlated with one another. But even if you didn't work out, you would still increase your metabolism simply by drinking water. Water is also going to be a way for you to detoxify. And I always use this word very, very lightly, right? The reason why is because our body naturally detoxifies itself. We really can't do anything to sort of make us detoxify or get rid of toxins out of our body less than some medicine or a chemical, right? So, we have medicines and chemicals, but we can do things to help to facilitate our body's natural process of detoxification. So, again, welcome to my world. When I talk about detoxification, I am specifically talking about things that will help your body's natural processes of detoxification. So, an example of that is when you are detoxifying, right? Our body, our liver is a detox for our body. Our kidney is a detox for our body. Our gut is a detox for our body, including our intestines. And one of the things that drinking water does is that it helps your digestive system move with much more efficiency. And we all know that our digestive system is the way our body removes waste and detoxes and the things that our body does not need or use out of our system through defecation and urination. When you are hydrated, it is going to help to prevent you from being constipated, from you not just constipation, but help you go to the bathroom with defecation much more than if you were dehydrated, which is going to get the toxins and the waste out of your system quicker, right? So, oftentimes when people say, well, I am constipated, I haven't used the bathroom in a week, and immediately they want to go to laxative. My response is, wait, before we do that, what is your water intake like? Can you use a couple of days to be really, really conscious that you're drinking enough water for your body to work on its own? Because one of the problems with using things like laxative, whether it's a natural one or a supplement you get inside of the store, is you don't want your digestive system to be dependent on an external supplement that you consume in order for it to work. We want to, again, in this detoxification process, encourage our body to use our natural forms of detoxification, including eliminating waste, right? And that is something that staying hydrated does. Okay, I have been on my pulpit, I have been at my chalkboard trying to show you all the ways that hydration is going to be helpful for your health, for your metabolism, for your brain function, for your energy level. So, now how much water should you actually drink, right? So, spoiler alert, if you have been listening to me for probably more than a week, you've heard me say drink half your body weight in ounces of water a day. All right. Remember what we talked about earlier? Half of your adult body is actually water. And what has been shown to be really efficient for people is to drink, that should be your aim, half your body weight in pounds. All right. Now, I am from the United States. I know we're probably the only country in the world that use pounds instead of kilograms. Or so if you are using kgs, you're going to have to use Professor Google to convert your kgs into pounds, right? So if you not in front of a computer, 1 pound is 2.2 kg. All right. Half your body weight in pounds. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water every single day. If you weigh 300 pounds, you should be drinking 150 ounces of water a day. If you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking 75 ounces of water a day. Use Professor Google to do all of your calculations if you need to. This should be your aim for healthy amount of hydration, okay? But you do not want to drink that all at one time. And I'm going to take a little bit of detour, and I want to sort of to remove a myth, right? So there is a myth that everybody needs to be drinking a gallon of water a day. That is an absolute myth. But like many myths that come along in the health and fitness industry, the origin of this is the bro science of the gym around bodybuilders, right? So bodybuilders were notorious and are notorious for drinking copious amounts of water, including to aim for a gallon of water a day. Regular person who want to lose weight looks at this super cut bodybuilder. Well, I'm going to try to do what he does. And one of the things that they find the easiest is I'm going to try to drink a gallon of water a day. A gallon of water a day is not appropriate for everybody. Many bodybuilders do that because certain supplements, certain hormones that they also take is even more dehydrating, and it requires them to drink additional water. So this is how you individualize it for you. Don't follow the bro science, right? I want you to convert your weight, your body weight, when you stand on the scale, right? Stand on the scale, no clothes on, early in the morning. I want you to get on the scale. I want you to know what your weight is right now in pounds. Divide that in half, and that's how many ounces of water you're going to drink a day. But if you currently barely drink water, I don't expect you to go and drink 100 ounces tomorrow, right? It is best that you sort of build up to it so that your body will then acclimate to the amount of water that you are drinking. Now, how much water should you drink? So, you know you should drink half your body weight in a day. How much water should you drink at a time? This is important because, one, just because you're drinking water doesn't mean you're actually hydrating yourself. If you're drinking more water than your body has the ability to absorb, this is really, really important, right? So, sort of think of if you had a sponge, a dry sponge on your counter, and you poured water on it slowly, your sponge will begin to absorb the water, correct? Begin to absorb the water. But your sponge can only absorb a limited amount of water. If you continue to pour the water on the sponge and it is beyond the capacity and it's already as moisturized as it can get, it cannot absorb any more water, what's going to happen? The water will continue to go into the sponge. You will see it go in, but then you will see it flow out and it will not be absorbed into the sponge. The same thing happens with our body when we drink too much water at one time. Oftentimes, when people go to increase the amount of water that they're drinking, they will say to me, I have to go to the bathroom all the time. How am I going to function having to go to the bathroom all the time? One of the reasons that is because many people start off with drinking too much water in one sitting. All right. So, what do we know about the body's ability to absorb water? So, they did this particular study on ultra marathon and Ironman athletes, right? So, remember, these are people who are actually doing an extreme, for a regular person, an extreme amount of activity, an extreme amount of expenditure of energy, as well as inside of an environment where they are going to be expending even more water through sweat, right? And they found that in an hour, so they literally tested them as they were going through their race, right? Testing urine, seeing how much they're urinating, testing blood to see if their blood was dehydrated, right? They literally are testing these marathon runners. And they found that in a marathon and in an Ironman race, the maximum amount of water that they could absorb into their cells was about a liter or 34 ounces. This is the max when you are actually doing an extreme race. The average person is going to absorb about half of that in an hour. So, what that means is that if you're sitting at your desk and you are working on your computer and you have your trusty water bottle next to you and you're sipping, 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 if you're sitting there and you're sipping 2 liters of water an hour, you're going to have to go to the bathroom because now you have created the sponge scenario. Your body can't even absorb the amount of water that you're giving it. So drinking half of your body weight of water will still leave you thirsty because you're drinking more than what your body has the ability to absorb. So ideally, you don't want to drink more than about 16 ounces every hour. That's simply 2 cups. Now, the challenge is you are going to have to remember to drink water throughout your day. So, what's really important for you to remember from this is you want to drink water in small portions, 2 cups an hour. That's going to be the average person. If you are in a very hot area, nope, I'm going to reverse this for you. Let's summarize what we've talked about. You're going to drink half your body weight in pounds in ounces of water every day, right? So that's a base. That is you sitting on your couch, you sitting in front of your computer, you're not doing anything. If you are going hiking for an hour, if it is a really hot summer day and you are a sweater, you're going to keep sweating and sweating. You sweat a lot. You're going to add on top of that more water. Okay? You're going to add on top of that. But let's just deal with the basics right now. Again, we have lots of different ways in which we can talk about what types, what situations, but let's deal with the basic. An average person on an average day, even on your rest days when you're not working out, half your body weight in ounces of water. So that's number one. Second thing, you are going to divide that water up into 2 cups an hour, about 16 ounces every hour, no more. If you are drinking a liter of water an hour, if you're drinking 34 ounces, you can expect that your body is not going to be able to absorb all of the additional water, and you're going to have to go to the bathroom much more often. Going to the bathroom much more often, not only is it sometimes inconvenience, but it's also an indication that you are compromising your hydration. Your body is not absorbing the water the way that it should because you're drinking too much at one time. All right? So that is where I want you to aim as a lifestyle health habit. So 2 things I'm going to end with. Number 1, if you're currently not a water drinker and you're like, I don't drink that much water a day, but I'm supposed to drink 100 ounces. I don't want you to go and try to drink 100 ounces tomorrow. I want you to be honest with yourself and say, you know what? I probably drink 30 ounces of water a day. whatever, because I drink 5 cups of coffee, which remember, we're not including as a part of the water, right? My rule, coffee is not included. The water you add to your protein shake is not included. The water you add to your smoothies are not included, right? I'm just this average stuff, right? That we do. It's not included. Plain, unadulterated, no calories, no chemical water. All right. If you're drinking 30 ounces right now on average, and you're supposed to be drinking 100 ounces, every week I want you to just add a cup, maybe two, to your day. So maybe I only drink 30 ounces, and this week I'm going to aim to drink 38 ounces of water. I'm going to make that a habit for a week, maybe even 2. And then the week after, you're going to add another cup. And then the week after that, you're going to add another cup. And you're going to keep adding as a habit on a daily basis, right? And I don't want you to say, I'm going to add a cup today, and then I'm add another cup tomorrow, and then there's going to be 3 cups the day before. This has to become a habit. And the best way for you to do this habit on your own is to make it gradual. So I want you to add 1 cup of water every week. That means you start off with 30 ounces, and this week I'm drinking 38 ounces of water every day for 7 days. Once I've done that, okay, now I'm actually going to add 8 more ounces to that, right? Not 4 more, 8 more ounces to that, because that's a cup. And you're going to keep that amount for another week. And you're going to keep adding. So remember, increase gradually, because you want to get into the habit of making sure that you're drinking small amounts, 2 cups an hour, throughout your day for efficiency of hydration. Before you go get electrolytes, before you go add all these other supplements, before you say, oh, I need to drink some coconut water or whatever, I don't want you to do any of that. I want you to start off with just the simple, pure, unadulterated, regular water. The second thing, or the last thing that I also too want to remind you of is, remember, today we are talking about just the basics. I don't want you to focus on whether or not your water is alkaline, whether it's from the tap, whether it's from the stream, whether it's from, right? Wherever you feel comfortable in terms of drinking water, that you know that it is clean water, that is what I want you to drink. When you start adding all of these barriers, oh, I can't drink this because, it's not alkaline. I can't drink this because, I don't know, it wasn't grown in the Amazon, whatever your excuses are, all you do is make it harder. Create the habit first. If you have clean tap water, everybody don't have clean tap water, I recognize that. Use tap water. Create the habit first. Then, after it's a habit, you begin to clean the habit up. All right? So now I want filtered water. Now I'm going to drink this type of water, right? But create the habit first. Don't put extra barriers in front of the habit, right? You are not going to die or get sick if your water is not alkaline. That's a whole nother topic that I am not a fan of. But for today, since we're keeping it simple, let's just talk about creating the habit of drinking water. All right? So you have a task from now on to make sure that you are staying hydrated as a base of you improving your health and well-being, as a basic way of you increasing your metabolism, improving your brain function, increasing the way in which you can move and exercise and just go about your daily functions without doing something dramatic or it being expensive or you have to order a supplement. Simply drink water. I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Fit Muslimah podcast. Please subscribe, share, Rate this podcast on whatever podcast platform that you're listening to it on. And remember, you can find me on most social media platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Fit Muslima to join the conversation. You have an awesome rest of your week. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum.